Welcome back to the Spegroon Doumentary Series. In this episode, we'll be touring the great cities of Oakmont and Electro. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the next episode of the Spegroon Doumentary Series. In this episode, we will be touring Oakmont, which is all the way over there, and Electro, which is all the way over there. If we open up the map, we're going to be going in a path sort of in this way. So from Clow over to Oakmont and then to Electro via the path. There's a couple other smaller stops along the way, but we'll have to get to those as we see them. And the first one we actually see is a sort of like outpost of Oakmont. This was originally used by Jeremy when he built Oakmont as a way to spy on Clow, because Cloud was originally all within those walls, so it was actually pretty far away. But that's where we're headed first, so let's take a quick walk on over. Along the outer walls, I've actually started a project that I forgot to mention in the Cloud episode, of setting up just smaller gates and things along the outer walls, because before there wasn't much of a way to just walk out. You just have to sort of mine out the wall. But now there's an actual way across. Also, Aaron's doing a sort of project here, so we'll just have to hop the fence. But yeah, Jeremy originally set up in these mountains, and I don't think there was even any torches up there. It was just all in the dark, and he has a little underground sector in there. Over there, we can still see Reaver's Vale and Fort Connington, which sort of shows Jeremy's sphere of influence to be just the general area around here, which I just find is an interesting footnote. If we head up here, we're getting to the main sector, wherein, up here, he used to have a couple horses in storage, and he even has one in storage right now that I'm not supposed to know about, Wilhelm. Funny thing, I was gonna have him kill Wilhelm in order to get a another prismatic lens, but that didn't really go through. Down here, we just have his storage area, and RR, I originally thought that meant like Roadrunner, like the old email service, but no, that's just the railroad that would take you over to Oakmont. And then obviously mine, there's a mine right there. And there's another exit hole over here. I would take the railroad over to Oakmont, which actually you get a lovely view of from this side of the hill. I would take the railroad, but it's been trapped and the rails have been removed. So that's two good reasons not to. And we have a small detour over here. Over here is my friend Tommy's base. He got on for like a couple days, and all he really did was build this neat little chicken farm. I know he's actually an extremely, like, good builder. Not just good, but, like, diverse builder, too. Like, he really knows how to build with cobblestone and wood and all that. Probably one of the best builders I know, next to Zach. And then over here, he just has a basic mine, storage area, wheat farm. But now, let's fly on over to Oakmont. As you can see, there's plenty of trees in the area, and Oakmont's name, if you're curious, actually comes from the Great Oak, by which was formed when it was created, which used to rest atop that hill before Aaron tragically burned it down. Over here, we just have a basic storage area, something called the Hole? What is this? Oh, looks like it's just more secret storage. But yeah, we got a job board, much like Jeremy's new base, with many things that never got done. And we got the rest of the railroad, which actually wasn't destroyed. He used to live in here and he had a dog, but I think I poisoned it and blew up the area when I was invisible at one point. I don't really remember. Over here, there's more wall. It's actually entirely walled up all the way around, except for up on that little hill up there. We got a sugarcane farm. This is where Zach used to store his stuff, because Zach actually joined in on Oakmont a little bit after Jeremy founded it. Over here, you can look out into the great farm area, and jeez, those zombies really went after me. This was the first large farm on the server, and it actually has a ton of cows, which, as I mentioned in the previous episode, are really good livestock on the server. If we fly over here, this is where I was gonna have him execute his horse. Right on in here. But, unfortunately, Aaron found it too early. Because originally I was going to have him pull the lever and then he'd fall in there and die, but Aaron found it too early and then notified him. Good thing I'll get him back, though. Back in Oakmont, however, if we climb up here, we can see the historic site where the great oak was tragically burned. I like to think of this as like the steps up to High Hrothgar and Skyrim. It's sort of like a similar walk with a sort of similar theme, I think. Scenic overview, all that. Right here is the point where you'd be able to peek and then see the great oak. But, as I mentioned, Aaron burned it down, and it has not since been rebuilt. I'd like to see it rebuilt one day, because this is a very important part of the world's history. From here, you can see Record Munchin County, which we'll get to in a later episode. You can see the hill still, and you can even see Reaversvale and the steps up to Fort Connington. Had to think for a second there. Over here, you can see one of my floating islands I'm working on, and there's also an outpost I believe Jeremy built over here when he was role-playing as Funky Kong for a little bit. Yeah, there's like a small wooden structure over there, which is Funky Kong's armory. Yeah, he'd use that to like spy, or he wasn't really spying on me, I just didn't know where he was building, and he could see like everything I was doing. It was sort of creepy. Anyway, if we head on down here, we get to a path that I built to Oakmont later on, after it was pretty much abandoned. Paths are mainly peaceful. I know there was once a skirmish, I believe, yeah, right on over there on the path, where people battled for one of the prismatic lenses. I'm not sure how I think the conflict ended up with it getting lost, actually, which is an interesting side note. Over here, another little bridge. I like building bridges in this game, I don't know why. I just love the architecture of them and how different and varied they can be. Here's the walls to Record Munchin County, which I dare not enter this episode. Another tiny bridge. And over here, we get to the fork in the road. Yes, I am that contrived. Small fountain. Heading there later. Over here, oh yeah, this is Pillroy Electro Park. This park was just a little side project I did. Just a park honoring Pillroy and the city of Electro. Here's just a small gazebo, little area to eat lunch. You know, just a place to chill out and relax at. As we head through here, you might be able to notice... Actually, yeah, I'll just run over here real quick. So I built floating islands out of dirt, which you'll see in a bit, but this is where I sourced it all from. A lot of this forest is just missing. There's just tunnels underneath of it, of all the dirt I've just tunneled out and dug. Because I needed a lot of it. You'll see how much I needed. I remember there's a large section somewhere that's just giant and open-aired, but I don't really remember where it is, because this is a decently sized birch forest. Back on the path now, we could see most of the city in view at this point. I've put a good a solid amount of time into building this area, let's say. Here's the first bridge. Nice mossy cobble theme. I like intermixing mossy cobble and gravel on my roads, because it's just a nice texture to look at. Over here, we just have some generic housing unit that I built. Built a couple of these just to make it look like it's more populated. Over there is a great drain, which we'll get to in a bit. Over here's the Army Reserve building. Got a couple of wolves on the ground, just in case there's a mission I need to send them out to go on. Alright, momentary lag spike there. I really don't know why it's doing that. I think it's because I'm putting all my pressure on my hard drive instead of my SSD. No, actually, no. That's complete BS. This is running, the game is running on the SSD, and it's saving footage to the hard drive. So it shouldn't be doing that. And it's like, it's really concerning me now. But I guess I just have to move on. So over here, there used to actually be a large, like, tower-style mob farm that all condensed into that point there. But it only generated a couple mobs, so it never really worked. So I had to tear the whole thing down. It was sad, too, because it actually looked really nice. Over in here, just another generic housing unit, you know. Populate the town, that sort of thing. Over here, we have something very, very important, with a lot of history, to me at least, is Scene 75. So back in a very, very old mod pack, it was just me, Aaron, and Jared, and that's how it was for actually quite a while. We played on this one world, and I remember my house got blown up because I tried to move it all, because we had, what was it? The one airship mod, I can't remember the name of it, mainly because it has a new name now. But I tried moving my entire house with it, and then it blew up. And then Jared built Poland, because he's Polish. And then Aaron built a large bunker that basically just looked like Scene 75. And so I ended up rigging it with TNT, admittedly in creative mode, but come on, and blowing it up. So now we have a theme of blowing up Scene 75, or just having Scene 75 in our Minecraft games. Also, interesting little factoid here, our Scene 75 in real life nearby us actually was destroyed by a tornado. So that's just sort of like forthcoming, that first his Scene 75 blows up, then ours blows up due to a tornado. It's just an interesting coincidence. Down here we got a little party area, and I can actually turn on those lights if I want. Hold on. I know some idiots travel down here and end up blowing up parts of it, because it's not always lit up all the way. I think if we cut through here... Right here, yeah. And then we push the minecarts to get them going. Oh. Ah, my favorite, internal server lag. But yeah, basically, this is a system where minecarts go around on a track, and it creates rave lights for the dance floor below. Aw yeah. Can see them moving around up there. Just a nice little time to enjoy. Anyway, if we head out of Scene 75, we can see right here, pretty much my original base out in this area. There used to be trees all over and everything, and I just dug a simple underground area, which later became the mine. And if you remember from the Clow episode, this actually contains the railroad from Electro to Clow, which goes all the way spanning across from there to there. I remember just taking, like, bathroom breaks on my way over, or going and getting food. Good times, good times. Over there's the main area, but I have a certain way I wish to get over there. We're gonna tour the rest of the place before we head there anyway. Over here, just another simple bridge. I just enjoy building bridges. Over here we see the statue of my waifu, Karen Kujo. Obviously, sacred area. Anyone who dare defile the statue will have God strike them down. Probably not something you want to do. Over here I have a simple drift arena. This was a prototype before I built a much larger one, which you'll see in a later episode. Ice has this slippery quality that makes it so you actually drift in the boats. If we head over here, we can see my favorite bridge in all of the land. Oh, but I guess before we do that, we have to deal with the best feature of Minecraft. Let me explain why Phantoms makes me so upset. Not only are they, well, obviously annoying, and just add another unneeded survival mechanic to the game, it removes a lot of AFK potential, but people voted for this. Like, people were like, oh, we could get a cool nether mob, or some other interesting creature. Nah, let's literally just add in the most annoying thing, like, people wanted this to happen. What is wrong with people? People are deeply disturbed, and I do not like it. It just makes me, like, I'm supposed to be given this tour, but nah, looks like I have to fight off these mobs for a couple seconds, and not have the option of having a much more interesting and cooler mob in the game. But enough of my complaining. And oh yeah, their membranes are completely useless, because you just throw mending on your elytra, and then it's good. But anyway, we head over to my favorite bridge. We just have these things that I built. I like to think of this one as like a samurai with one of those traditional helmets. And then this one is like an alien or something. I don't know. I just think they look cool. And if we head up here, you can see my first base. Not my first base, but my first outpost on the ground after I built my floating isles. This was just made on the opposite side of the mountain, just as a little lookout area. But now if we head up, we actually see that this hill has become a very important place, because it's the start of a racetrack. And great, my entire computer is melting down. Literally, stand here for 2 seconds. 2 seconds. To fix my settings. I just sit here to fix my settings. For 1 second. And then like 3 more spawn. The absolute most infuriating thing. To any video. Not to any video game. Like, there are things... No, they put this in to make it intentionally infuriating. There is zero way that was not their thought process while doing this. Alright, now I'm back. Sorry for the interruption. Just, had a computer meltdown a bit, and then I started just getting attacked by phantoms for obviously no reason. And then I started the tour again, after I went up and slept in my bed, and then I realized I wasn't recording. So I'm so glad that everyone voted for Phantoms as the next mob. I'm sure that democracy always works. It's not like it's inefficient or people don't think rationally before making their choices. But anyway, enough of that. Back to the waterway. Because that's what I was talking about 20 minutes ago, before bad game design ruined everything. So there's where you start out from. You have the option of just dropping down and then just going to the end. Or you can take the long way, which is what we usually do. You head through there, there's a slippery ice section. Then you head on out, get poured down a waterfall. Head around there's a couple of hairpin turns through there as you head down. Then it's just sort of a peaceful section. Head under the bridges, Head around. There's some redstone areas with some different contraptions you have to get through, and then you get to the end. So, let's go on this boat ride. I want to head over here, and all we gotta do is make a boat, hop in, and we are on our way. So yeah, this section usually catches people off guard with how much it actually turns you. Oh, then you head out and down through here. Then you make a sharp turn around the corner. Head through the tight hairpin section. I know a lot of people complain about this section because it slows some people down, but you just gotta have fine control over the boat. Head through here. This is just a peaceful section right here. You just chillax for a bit, take a proper line. Head through here. Normally squids don't get in the way. Like you saw, I just bumped one for a second there, but didn't take back much time. You can either cut through there or take the longer way around. Head through here, head under the main entrance to the city of Electro. Head along here, and we get to an area. You gotta time how you go through here. Because pistons, oh yeah, snagged me at the end there, but pistons cause those blocks to rise up on a clock. Head through this section here. This right here actually opens up a shortcut for people who are behind, so they can actually catch up. Here, there's actually a chicken randomizer along here, which will cause different parts to pop up on you randomly. And up here is the bridge to the floating isles area. And you get to the finish line with all sorts of different boats around here. There used to be a zombie that sat around down here, but I remember someone killed him because they were like, oh, there's a zombie, even though he was like an important historic relic to the city. Like actually he'd been there for like 3 or more seasons. Can still hear his cries to this day. But let's head on up. Now, you might be wondering, how do you get up here, you know? Well, option 1, the obvious option, is just to fly up. But before we had Electro, there was a much simpler way to get up. Well, not simpler, actually. Far, far more complex. I don't know why I said simpler. It's through another portal. And you might be thinking, aren't you just going to come out on the same side? No. So basically, this nether portal, there's just a small nether hub relaxation and area in here, by the way. Because basically, one portal is here, and one portal is here, and this straddles over them. So this will actually help us move up higher on the Y level, because of how the portal is split up equal distant between the two of them. And ta-da! We're up on the floating isles. I got a couple of buildings up here. First building we see here is just a simple cactus and sugarcane farm. It automatically generates them. I'll show you how real quick, because it's pretty simple. All we got is some observers, and the observers can tell when the sugarcane here has grown to 3 blocks, and it sends a redstone pulse to push pistons, break it all, send it down the water. It does lose some in the process, but it makes enough to where it's not enough to redesign it. Similar concept here. Cactus grows, breaks once it gets to here, and then heads down the water stream, and there's also some loss in this one. If we fly on down, oh, and break our legs in the process. You see over here, a army of wolves in case the Isles ever get invaded. They'd sort of just suicide drop off, but it'd certainly get anyone in the way. Here's a classic waterway up. This is the first way to get up to the Isles, before we even had the nether portal system. And over here, I originally was going to build a flying machine, but it didn't work out. I can't remember why. I think there was something I was missing, or it needed more room. But now we just have a slime pad, so you can just jump off and land there. Over here, simple chicken farm. There's a repeater here, or a dispenser with repeaters to just rapid fire eggs. And it's made of green wool, because ocelots will spawn here and actually kill the chickens otherwise, so I have to put green wool down so they don't. Over here, shears and a sword for killing the chickens. Just a basic sheep farm. If we take a look out here, we can see second island, which has nothing built on it, and I think I'm gonna sell it off to potential buyers, and a third one on the way. Oh, also, I don't think I specifically mentioned this yet, this weird chicken wolf head. Everyone likes mentioning it when they get to the island. Over there is a small, simple fountain, and down here we can head into the museum. Variety of things at the museum. We have the Nativity of the Pipe Strip, which I will show now for your viewing convenience. We have a skeletal horse, recovered all the way from Clow and sent up a path up. And we have some parrots up for observation. And in here we have a variety of relics to look at. We have the emerald I got when I first escaped from the nether. Some obsidian from the portal that caused the first conflict. Flint and steel from the many times Aaron's house has been burnt down. A bow with power 2 and power 1 on it. A helmet from Jeremy. There's also pants, but he stole them back. The shovel that was used to dig up all the dirt on this very island. A log from the Great Oak. And I believe there was a fight between Jared and Steve over who could use the Steve skin. And then they battled using wooden shovels. Down here, we got the Speed Luigi. You know, every house needs one of those. If we head up, we get into my main base area. We have a small job board to be doing. We got some armor on showcase. Plenty of weapons, armor, that sort of thing. Down here is an enchanting table. Dumb Donald stole the actual enchanting table, so now that's missing. I'll just have to build another one. In here, potion room, all sorts of potions and supplies. In here's the main storage. We got a pit here where I can just dump junk, and then it goes into an auxiliary chest down there. We have the food chests over here. And then everything else is labeled and all sorted and all that. In here, we just have a small holding area for prisoners. We got a meeting room, which I've never held a meeting at before. We got the kitchen. And down here, we got a little quarters for people who do work. Up here, we get to the main area, just living area in the castle. Up here is the bed that I slept at because phantoms were assaulting me relentlessly because they are a horrible game mechanic. Here's all of my old broken tools that I just keep in a chest here. Let's actually take another nap because Lord knows they'll assault me next turn, or next video if I don't. Here's the enchanting room. Sorted all the enchantments. Just have a ton of different enchantments and things. Enough lapis and books. Everything you'd need. Over here, we have our second island. Nothing much has actually been built on it so far. As I said, I'm currently planning to sell it. It's a small little pond area. I was going to build a Japanese-ish castle over here, but I don't really have the drive to do it at the moment. Yeah, that's going to be it for Electro. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Next episode, I plan to tour all of the Northern Realms, which consists of Valeria, Lord Bug's Empire, the Two Spawns, Deadsvale, Record Munchin County, and all the little areas around here. I guess I'll see you guys in that episode. See you then.